We have folks here in the sanctuary who are meditating. We have those of you who are at home meditating with us. And it is a wonderful thing to have everyone participate in this special time. So from now until 10:15, we'll have Kevin playing some beautiful meditation music. And as you go into the stillness, I invite you to take this thought with you and contemplate it in your heart. I see awe-inspiring beauty everywhere I look. And I'll be back at 10:15. Well, good morning again. I just invite you to return from your meditation easily and effortlessly, bringing with you all the love that you found in your heart as you were quiet and in the stillness within. And now this is our time from 10:15 to 10:30 when we have our meet and greet, and folks are going to come into the sanctuary. And as you all likely know, for those of you who are far away, it really is irrelevant, but for those of you who are here in this area, in the state of California, our mandatory mask mandate has been extended through February 15th. So here at the center, we will require masks for all indoor activities, regardless of vaccination status, and we will comply with that state requirement. So you will see people with masks, you'll see me with one, and you will see me with it off when I'm on the podium. So get yourself a beverage, get yourself a snack, get yourself all comfy at home, wherever you may be, and join us at 10:30. And in the meantime, we have a magnificent slideshow that is presenting the Art Walk fellow that was here, a young man, and Donna will talk more about that. But in the meantime, you can enjoy the pictures. I'll see you soon.
I don't have a microphone. Okay.
I'll tell you later. Well, good morning. Good morning and welcome. And I have a special announcement today. We have some really special music coming later in the service, so I want you to stick around for that. But in the meantime, I'd like to introduce this first song that our band is going to play. The way that we sing this song, we've got the whole world in our hands. So I want you to make that mental note as you hear this music that we have the whole world in our hands. And so, fellas, if you will begin. You still got me turned on up there? I am turned on today, there's no question about that, so stand by. Sometimes I'm not sure if the thingy is on though. So here I am, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Visalia again. I'm Reverend Nan Bankston, I'm the senior minister here, and it is my pleasure to welcome you today to this second Sunday in January service. We have a lot of special things planned for you, and I am so happy to have you here. Is there anybody here for the first time? Gian, yes, we will get you a visitor's packet. So we have this young man here. You'll be seeing him later. He's going to be doing some special music with our fellow Edward Hernandez, and they're going to be doing a super special song for all of us, and I'll introduce that later. Thank you. Welcome for being here. Welcome home. All righty. So we have announcements. Donna, you've got the first one.
Yes, I have the first one. I want to thank everybody who came to our wonderful First Friday Art Show Friday night. Bruce played the piano, loved it. We got a demonstration, and you can see it here. This is the demonstration of our nonverbal autistic young artist who, with his teacher, Jessica, showed us how he paints, because he can't connect his arm unless it's touched. And then he uses the iPad to make his poems. Please take time. His poems are on the wall. Read some of them. They're pretty, really amazing. And he's all there and more. It's just that you can't tell. So he'll be here again next First Friday for February, so come if you haven't seen him. He's not selling his art. He doesn't want to sell his originals, but he's selling lots of prints over here. So and we sold a bunch Friday night. So if you're interested, look at those, and we'd be happy to sell them to you. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Donna. I didn't get here on Friday night, but I do plan to be here on February, the 1st February on Friday, and I am so happy that he'll be back then. I look forward to meeting this young man. And you know, what I want to make a point of here is that so often with labels, we exclude people. And this young man is a unique expression of spirit in action with unique capabilities. And I want us to just so honor that, not only in him, but in everyone that we meet and know that doesn't fit what society says may be the ordinary, the normal, or the usual. What a brilliant expression of spirit that boy is. So, I have some more announcements. Let's move along here. So today there is a board meeting at 12:30. It can be here in person or online. Anybody is welcome to attend if they choose to do so. The board link for the online should be on the website. Yes, Sheila? It's on the website. So you can hook in over that if you'd like to. That'll be at 12:30. Okay. We've got 2 new classes beginning in January. Mental equivalence, it is now determined that we will be doing that on Zoom because the folks who have already participated have majority consensus of doing it on Zoom. So it'll be Thursdays, January 27th to February 24th, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. There's a little flyer over on the table for that, and you can check it out. If you need more information or you want to register, call me directly. Scholarships are available for this. It is a prerequisite, a course for those who are interested in practitioner training. The next one is a really wonderful opportunity for anybody. This Spiritual Principles and Practices class was one that I taught when I first came here in July. Excuse me. And my associate, Paul Domaleski, is going to teach this for us online. Paul is an outstanding scholar. He's in almost senior year for ministry, and he is a remarkable being. This is an incredible value because the only thing that you're going to have to pay is the $45 class certificate fee, just like you did when I did it. If you did this class online or at any other center, I would care to bet you that it would cost about $285. So this is a benefit to our center here and to anyone who would like to participate online. And he's doing that on Zoom also so that more people can participate. And it is an evening class for those folks who work in the daytime. So I highly recommend that you think about this. It's a foundational course, and it's shorter than the foundations class that is a 10-week class. Also, the information for that is on the table behind. Now, we've got our next concert coming up. Now, on Saturday, February 19th, we're going to have Rudy Paris right here on this stage, and he's going to put on a fabulous show for us. The tickets are going to go on sale soon. I think it's going to be next week. And they'll be available. They're $25. They're going to be available through Eventbrite and on our website and here in the center. So make sure you mark that date. We're going to have food beforehand provided in a food truck out in the back here where we have our party area. And it'll be tacos luchos. So that will be not provided as part of the concert, but you can certainly buy it, and there will be beer and wine provided also that you can buy. We will have beverage sales and food sales. Now, the Kaching participants spent 6 weeks becoming aware of unexpected income and practicing tithing. I want you to understand how tithing is a spiritual principle. It's not just saying, okay, I'm going to do my 10% and that's that, or if I do this, I'll get something back. Well, the tithes that we received from the Kaching participants amounted to $1,194.22, which was a total of $11,942 of abundance that flowed into their lives. And that was unexpected, unidentified previously. So I can tell you that we all live in a humongously abundant environment. Spirit, the flow of divine good is ever present in everyone's life. We just have to be aware. So on that note, I will be starting a Zoom Kaching program pretty soon for those who could not be at the center for the last one. And that will be available probably later in January, perhaps the first part of February. So it will become available again. It's free, it's fun, it's like a half hour if we do it on Zoom, and you're going to be able to get the tools and learn how to be aware of the abundance in your life. And along that line, I just want to make note that we have sent out a review of 2021 and the visionary budget for 2022 documents and a conscious contribution card to everyone who is on our mailing list. You'll be receiving those. And we will be having a conscious giving celebration here in our sanctuary on January, the last Sunday, which I think it's the 30th. So get ready for that, and you'll hear more about this when we do our prosperity portion today. I believe that completes our announcements. And now I will present our diversity quote today. So our inclusivity team, diversity and inclusivity team, is focused on having an awareness of inclusivity, and we are an inclusive center. Our entire philosophy exists on the idea that we are all one and that we are interconnected, and that indeed we include everyone in everything that we do. We honor all faith traditions. And so today, it's my privilege, Bonnie, one of our team members, selected this quote for today and could not be here today, so I am providing it for you. This is a Maya Angelou quote, and she said, "While I know myself as a creation of God, I am also obligated to realize and remember that everyone else and everything else are also God's creations." Now you can substitute any word you want in there for God. Just know that we are all part of the one. And now I'm going to turn this over to Janice Lehman, our practitioner for today. And Janice is going to take us into our spiritual part of our program. So I would invite you to spend some time with Janice now as she offers our affirmation. And
okay. Yeah, there I am, huh? Yeah. Well, actually, I was here, but now I know that I am here. Okay, what a beautiful opportunity for me. This is such a absolutely gorgeous weekly affirmation, and I want to go from this affirmation directly into prayer. I see awe-inspiring beauty everywhere I look. And I want you to just think about that. As you woke up this morning, some of you may have seen suns, some of you may have seen fog, some of you may have seen both. And I want you to think about that. Oh, as I go within and I think about all of the fabulous creation of spirit, I am moved, I am inspired. As I drove this morning seeing banks of fog that looked like they just totally covered the earth like cotton balls. And then just driving a little further and seeing how the fog lifted, how it went across fields, all of that beauty. And then seeing the sun and the gorgeous, gorgeous mountains that are full of snow. I know that all of God's creation is beautiful. I know that I too am part of that beautiful creation. And I know that each and every one of us is an integral, special part of the creation of spirit. And I now claim for our service today that we are truly aware of the beauty that surrounds us in sound, surrounds us in message, surrounds us in the faces of people. Knowing that as part of that creation, when we are truly aware of that, how wonderful life is when we can look at anything and anyone and see the beauty, the awe-inspiring beauty behind it. And that is the beauty of our Creator. I am so grateful to know this truth, that this is available to me, to each of us, if we will just look around and see that beauty, see that love that created each of us and all of the world. I release my word to the law, knowing that it has already manifested. It has been made manifest and grows and grows. And we say together, and so it is. And I would want you to know that I will be available in the practitioner room after service if you would like to visit for a short prayer. And it's beautiful to see all of you here today. You beautiful part of God's creation. Thank you.
Okay, so we're singing. I know you know this, so belt it out. I like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honeybees and snow white turtle doves. I like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I like to see the world for once all standing hand in hand and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today. A song of peace that echoes on and never goes away. That's the song I sing. Let the world sing today. A song of peace that echoes on and never goes away. all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills, oh, peace throughout the land.
Oh, my goodness. Well, a big thanks to our own Donna Orozco, who led the singing on that. Thank you so much, Donna. She is filling in for Hope, who is ill, and for Deanna Saldana, who is right now traveling on her way to Minnesota to see her brand new baby grandson. Ah, yeah. I just got notice yesterday. Deanna called me and said that the little fellow came into the world, and she would be getting there just in the perfect time to be with them today and ongoing for the next few weeks. A big thanks to Kevin for his work on the saxophone, and to Edward, our bass player, and to Joe Lazama, our amazing drummer. We are so blessed. So, good morning and happy Sunday to you, and welcome to everyone here in our sanctuary and to all of you out there in virtual technology land. We are so happy when you join us wherever you may be, whether it's here in our sanctuary, which is always wonderful, or if you are away or you can't be here, or you're far away, as I know some folks are, then we are ever so happy that you come through on Facebook and YouTube. And what a wonderful day it is here. I tell you, as I mentioned last week, we have a new global theme for the year, which is Living Everyday Wonder. And our monthly theme for January is also Living Everyday Wonder, just to get us propelled into a great perspective for the next years, the coming topics for the next year. So my talk title today is, Do You See What I Do? Do you see what I see? For the next few weeks, we're going to be considering truly being awake, aware, and living in the awe and wonder of life. You know, most of the time we routine our way through life. We get up, we have our schedules, we have our activities, and our responsibilities, and all of these just kind of occur every day in the similar ways for the most part. We miss a lot. We miss a lot because we're just kind of like the hamster on the wheel that just keeps going around, and we don't do anything but go around and around. Well, you know, we all know that the pandemic that began in early 2020 put a big kink in a lot of that. Suddenly, we had to devise ways of communicating, working, going to school, shopping, and many other things while staying at home, sheltered in place. Or what I called it then was sheltered in grace. It helped me reset the whole idea of it all. It was an interesting time for sure. We now benefit from technology in ways many of us never expected or really were interested in using previously. Zoom, Facebook, live streams, Vimeo videos, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, other methods of sharing live information have become, as Snapchat, have become the usual ways of staying connected. And the pandemic was a timeout for nature. Reflecting on that time, I remember that it was really stressful. And yet there was a strange peacefulness to it. How interesting it was to have my entire life, travel to ministry school, and interactions with my center and colleagues completely disrupted. You know, I was traveling at that time from Oregon to Encinitas to the Center for Spiritual Living School of Spiritual Leadership campus there at the Center for Spiritual Living in Encinitas. And I had to go there at least once a month, if not twice. And I was always on the move. I was on a jet going here or there or back. And I was in classes, and I was busy, and I was just so filled with all of it. And I loved it. I loved it. So going to Encinitas was a major shift from the environment that I knew in Oregon. I always loved flying into San Diego. I loved seeing the ships in the harbor as I took the rental shuttle to get my rental car. And as I drove up to Encinitas from San Diego, I loved looking at the Pacific Ocean. Now, those were action-packed weekends for sure, I can assure you. But the one thing that I love the most and that I remember the most is the sight and smell of the Pacific Ocean there. There was a palpable energy every time I took that drive up to Encinitas. And I was always filled with wonder as I looked out over the vast Pacific Ocean from Highway 1 while going from the hotel to the center. The street that I stayed, the hotel was on that I stayed at, had the most superb view as you went down the hill of the Pacific, and I felt like it was just vast and endless, and it was the most wonderful reset for my being when I would do that. It was beautiful even if there was mist or fog or rain or any other kind of weather. And sometimes as I went to that center, I would just stop on some of the side streets that I took, and I would just look at all the flowers, all of the trees, and other natural beauty that were there that were just resplendent, that was way different than where I lived in Oregon. People were always walking their dogs everywhere. That was an idea that was interesting to me because I could walk my dog in Oregon, but it wasn't like that. It didn't matter what street you were on, big, small, restaurants, they were always having their dogs. It was great. And the campus at the center in Encinitas was so serene. It has a beautiful, beautiful outdoor garden and patio, and the garden area is so well maintained. You know, sometimes we would just take our lunches out there just to relax and soak up the sun and the smell of the air, the beauty and the peace in between the intensity of our class sessions. And I was always filled with the wonder at how Spirit had guided me and directed my path to this very, very special place that brought me deepening consciousness and lifted my soul just breathing the air. Oh, I looked forward to those trips. You know, as Dr. Holmes noted, we stand in awe before the grandeur of a mountain or the vastness of the ocean. Something deep within us responds. Something within us embraces the ocean. Something within us melts into the mountain, and we become one with it all. Now, it was a special time filled with wonder, and I was doubly blessed to have the grandeur of the mountains around me in Oregon and below me that I could see as I was flying. And then coupled with the vastness of the ocean as I was there during those weekends, oh, it was a wonder-filled time in my life. In fact, if I look at my whole life, I can say that it has always, always been filled with wonder. I just wasn't tuned into it all the time. I missed it. I didn't always live it, yet it was always there, waiting, just waiting for me to wake up enough to see it and know it. And I would venture to say that that is true for every one of us, at least the majority of us. How often do we fail to notice the universal intelligence in everything? When was the last time, I'm going to use these devices that we so enjoy, when was the last time you looked at an everyday object and spent time really noticing all the aspects of it? The color, the shape, the size, the uses, the composition. What would you see if you allowed yourself to really appreciate the totality of it? Think of the muscles and movement of your body when you use this object. Think of the complexities of your body and what it takes to move our muscles, what it takes to keep our lungs breathing, what it takes to keep our hearts beating, and even our fingernails growing, and our toenails, of course. You know, it's a wonder to me how all of our body parts keep regenerating and function throughout our entire life. It's truly miraculous if you really spend time considering it. You know, when we're young, everything we see is a miracle. Beetles, frogs, flowers, puppies, the stars, clouds, newts and lizards, even grains of sand. And I am reminded of Angela Morgan's comment in her book today. She says, oh, to be alive in such an age when miracles are everywhere and every inch of common air throbs a tremendous prophecy of greater marvels yet to be. Now think about that. Oh, to be alive in such an age when miracles are everywhere, and every inch of common air throbs a tremendous prophecy of greater marvels yet to be. Greater marvels yet to be. We live in interesting times. You know, the cosmos, the universe, stars, the sun, the moon, the rocks, the river, all creatures great and small, all have been created from the self-givingness of the love of spirit so that it might experience physical life through all creation. Everything is truly wondrous when we recognize it is spirit, universal intelligence in full glorious expression, just as this young man's paintings are an expression of that amazing spirit in a different way. We forget that all life is connected through that universal spirit and energy. As humans, we think we are smarter. We know more. We have dominion over the seeming inanimate life on the planet. Well, here's an interesting scientific fact for you. Trees are social creatures that communicate with each other in cooperative ways. This is according to forestry ecologist Suzanne Simard. They are linked by an underground network of fungi that resembles the neural networks in the human brain. Now, in one study, a Douglas fir that had been injured by insects appeared to send chemical warning signals to a ponderosa pine, which then produced defense enzymes to protect itself. And there is more energetic connectivity of which we are unaware and in which we coexist with all creation. Wonder. Wonder reveals our oneness, our interconnectedness, our interdependence. Everything began as a divine idea, and then form is an expression of consciousness. Notice the interconnectedness of it all, the creativity, the beauty, the perfection. It is evident in the ancient Sanskrit truth. And I speak these words, and I may not have them exactly correct, but here we go. Tat tvam asi, I am that. That's Sanskrit. And it is the African philosophy of Ubuntu. I am because you are. And it is the Mayan precept in Lak'ech. You are my other me. It is the failure to wonder that creates separation, distrust, and violence. It is the failure to wonder that affords abuse of life and our planet. You know, I had a quote from Guru Nanak, who is the founder of the Sikh tradition, last week. He calls us to see no stranger. And this is a high call because it means loving people even when they don't love you, and wondering about them even when they refuse to wonder about you. Wonder, wonder everywhere, huh? I return to a thought from Dr. Holmes for a moment. Even the common things of life assume a natural goodness, beauty, and dignity when viewed as a whole. But you know, we forget. We forget we are one. We forget that we are a part of the whole. We forget the magnificence of spirit and take it for granted. And when that happens, when we move into that place of the hamster on the wheel and we're just going around and around, that is when we renew our spiritual practices and we help each other remember who we really are. That is when we return to affirmative prayer, to lift up our eyes, to look around us and see the wonder of love everywhere. I love this anecdote about prayer by Parker Palmer. Excuse me, it's his book, From a Hidden Wholeness. And the story goes, the pupil asked the rabbi, why does the Torah tell us to place these words upon our hearts rather than in our hearts? And the rabbi answered, because our hearts are closed. So we place them on top of our hearts, and there they stay until one day our heart breaks open and the words fall in. What a precious thought, huh? We are surrounded by and immersed in awe-inspiring creative beauty, wholeness, and perfection. The universe is abundant and resplendent, and there are no limits to the magnificence of the wonder Spirit has created. Each person, each flower, each stone, each animal, each drop of water is a necessary and glorious part of the whole that is the divine. The more we direct ourselves to the wonders we encounter daily, minute to minute, and the more we appreciate them as parts of ourselves, or parts of ourselves that we don't even know yet, the greater our capacity to love and to experience joy. Now, if we aren't walking around with our mouths constantly agape in awe, then perhaps we should start paying more attention. Perhaps it's time to start viewing our life through our spiritual lenses of wonder and awe, and affirming in our prayer that is our life, this wonder and awe, this spiritual magnificence is our real life now. Or as Emma Curtis Hopkins said, the world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is. I offer you an opportunity to contemplate that this week. And you know, I mentioned Guru Nanak before about seeing no stranger. And I'd like to share a beautiful story about him. I'm probably going to mention him again from time to time because I very much appreciate some of his teachings. You know, we are inclusive, and we honor all faith traditions and spiritual wisdom in our philosophy and our way of life. And that includes everything. Everything. Christianity, Sikh, Buddhism, Hindu, anything. Native American, Wiccan. Everyone has wisdom. So, this is from Valerie Kaur's book, See No Stranger. 5 centuries ago, the story goes, halfway around the world, in a village in Punjab, on the Indian subcontinent, there lived a young man named Nanak. He was deeply troubled by the violence around him, Hindus and Muslims, all in turmoil. And one day, he disappeared on the bank of a river for 3 days. 3 days. And people thought he was dead or drowned. But Nanak emerged on the 3rd day with a vision of oneness, Ik Onkar, the oneness of humanity and of the world. Now, this vision threw him into a state of ecstatic wonder, Visma, and he began singing songs of devotion called Shabads, praising the divine within him and around him. In other words, he was in love. And love made him see with new eyes. Everyone around him was a part of him that he did not yet know. I see no strangers, said Guru Nanak. I see no enemy. He taught that all of us could see the world in this way. And there's an explanation here. There is a voice inside of us, and this is so beautiful. There is a voice inside each of us called Hamai, the I that names itself as separate from you. It resides in the bowl that holds our individual consciousness. But separateness is an illusion. When we quiet the chatter in our heads through music or meditation or recitation or songs, the boundaries begin to disappear. The bowl breaks. And for a moment, we taste the truth, sweet as nectar. We are part of one another. And joy rushes in. Long after the moment passes, We can choose to remember the truth of our interconnectedness, that we belong to one another. We can choose to see no stranger. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful way to see life, to see no stranger, to know that sweetness of the nectar of love that exists in us. So as we continue to walk in wonder this week, my prayer for all of us is that we choose to see no strangers, no others, to know that we belong to each other, to one another. And as these words fall upon our hearts, they break open to see, feel, and receive the love of the one infinite presence through which we are all interconnected. So this week, remember the truth of who you are. Remember your spiritual magnificence. Walk in wonder, walk in awe, and walk in love this week as you travel through life. And I bless you all. So it is. Thank you. Thank you. And now we will seal this with a prayer, and then we're going to have some special music so we can get lost in love. All righty. So as I come together here with everyone in this room, I speak these words. I speak these words that fall upon open hearts that have broken open to receive the truth of spiritual magnificence and spiritual wonder, to receive the joy of living interconnected in wholeness and in oneness. And I know that this word that I am speaking right now applies to everyone in this sanctuary, applies to everyone everywhere, to all creation. And I know that we are one. And I know that in the spiritual magnificence of that creative energy, that there is only love. And that love always prevails. Love always prevails. And it will always, always be there for us. And so knowing that this is so, I simply let this word be. I let it be, knowing it is already done, as it says, yes, my beloveds, yes, and so it is. And so, what a wonderful thing. So we have some really special music this week. This is our own Edward Hernandez and his good buddy, Gian. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Edward and Gian.
Thank you very much. My name's Edward, you guys know who I am. It's my good buddy Gian Vigo, who's from up north, Sacramento area. We have this little duet called Outsiders. This is our little duet. Just released an EP this month, actually, so you can find it on all music streams, Spotify, Apple Music. This is one of the songs that we've covered, and the album's called The Quarantine Sessions. So, but overall, this is one of the songs
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. What a wonderful thing. Thank you, Gian and Edward. So if you want to hear more of their work, they can find that on your website, right, Edward?
Yes.
The Bearded Uke?
EdwardUkulele.com.
EdwardUkulele.com.
I do have cards, so if you have them in my wallet.
You know, we support our artists here in this center, so, I've got my thing upside down. I did not pay attention to how it was made when I was doing my talk. Thank you so much. So, here we are now. It's time. Thank you again. Let's give them another big hand. That was beautiful. And that was a wonderful piece from way back in my life, Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Really a great piece of music. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We are so blessed we have such fabulous music. So right now it is time for our prosperity and abundance celebration. And again this week I'm going to be presenting a little information. Donna, if you can give us the first slide. So last week I started January with sharing information about our 2022 budget. And I think it's really important for us to have transparency in what you are supporting. So our budget this year is a visionary budget supporting our purpose to be a beacon of light, serving all humanity. So we have 4 pillars, and I talked about the first one last week. The first one, these are 4 elements of our budget that are supporting the activities here. And the first one is celebrating life and connecting, providing spiritual services and joyful social connections. The next one, Donna. The second one is spiritual education programs. We teach spiritual living here. The next one is that we are a tithing community. Now, tithing is a spiritual practice. We practice, and it's a practice of gratitude. We practice gratitude for the abundant good flowing through our lives. And the fourth one is our work in the world, sacred service, greater community outreach. We have the One Hope Choir and more. So this week I'm highlighting the second one. Last week I shared that for the Sunday services and our community activities here, our celebration activities, that the portion of our budget that is spent on that is around $78,000 every year. This is for the spiritual education programs, and the portion for that is in our budget is $18,130. I think it's really, really important for you as folks who give so generously of not only your time and talent, but your treasures, that you know what your work, what your gift, what your love is doing through this center, in this center, as this center. That it is the love of Spirit that moves through you, that comes through us, and then does all of this. So, in that transparency, I invite us to move to our prosperity affirmation. So if you'll take your gift, and you'll join me in saying, I become increasingly aware of the prosperity in my life as I practice conscious giving. That's really what we're doing, is we are consciously giving. Let's do it again. I become increasingly aware of the prosperity in my life as I practice conscious giving. Super. Now, if you'll collect those gifts. And I know these gifts come from the love of pure spirit. I know that love of pure spirit is everywhere, throughout all creation, that it is moving through every life. It moves through every person. That divine flow, the reciprocal energy of spirit, cannot be stopped. So the gift that is given must return. Over and over, 10-fold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold or more. So in this spiritual practice of gratitude, for the gifts that come into this center, I just give thanks. I give thanks for the abundance in everyone's life and in this community. And as I receive these gifts, I bless them. I bless them and I give great thanks, knowing that they do good work here in our center, in our community, and in the world. And so it is. And so at the end of the month, after we've finished our 4 Sundays, the next 2 Sundays, the 5th Sunday, we're going to have the Conscious Giving celebration. And everyone will be given a gold token that will be a symbol of your conscious commitment to giving. And it's not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing. It represents who you are and what you are and the love that flows through you in the form of abundance and prosperity. And we'll all get to participate in it, whether we give $1 a year or whether we give $1 million a year. Now, if anybody wants to give $1 million a year, call me. Call me. So, yeah, or Sheila, the board president, either one. Yeah, we can hook you up. Yes, we can. So now it's time for our peace song. And I just invite everybody, it is our custom to form a circle and hold hands. If you are comfortable in that, it's fine. If you want not to hold hands, it's truly, everything is up to you, because we do know that we continue to be under a mask mandate. So if you would like to come down in a circle, we'll do that. And to the extent that you are comfortable, we will hold hands or not. All right. In. All righty. Thank you so much. So now it's time for our benediction. For those of you who have been here before and those of you who have seen it out there, get ready because you get to participate. So, repeat after me if you are in the mood. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. It is this thing called life. Now, life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my body. And it's in the body of my affairs, every one of them. Every one of them. Every one of them. I think it. And I feel it. Oh, and I love it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you again.